In this video, I'll explain the CSS3 Flexbox. Okay, so I have a design here. It's pretty basic, but what we have is two divs. Okay, an outside div called container, it's a class, and an inside div called centered, and that's also a class. Now, the thing is, it's exactly how you would expect it to look. I'll go ahead and run it in a browser. And you see, okay, nothing to it. The div is at the top. And what we'd like to do is center it in the page. And this is the first value of Flexbox. Now, the parent container, called container, that class, I go ahead and do this. Display flex. Now, that's not enough because the thing is that we need to make sure this is going to work with most of the popular browsers, and we need to take into account the WebKit browsers. Now, the WebKit engine is used by popular browsers like Safari and Chrome. So we also need to add this line, -WebKit -flex. And that'll ensure that it'll run not just in Internet Explorer and, say, Opera, but it'll run in the WebKit browsers. Now, if I go ahead and save that, Control S and F12 to run it, you can see right off the bat the effect here. Now, the effect is great. What we've done is managed to vertically center that div, and that was something that if you've done any web design, you know that vertically centering divs is not always the most fun activity. It can be difficult to do. It can have unpredictable results. But with WebKit, the very first benefit to that is that we can actually, by changing that parent container, center that div vertically inside it. Now, if I go ahead and just move this around, you can see that both are going to flex. And the reason they flex is only because I haven't given the fixed width to the container class, and I've set 50% width and height to the centered class. So there's nothing to it. The flex isn't really showing us what we can do with it beyond the actual vertical centering. But if we take a look at this page, now I've got a master div, an outside container, and inside I've got 4 smaller child div containers. And the very first one here is called initial, and then none, the second one that says always 100 pixels, and then flex 1, and that says 1/3 of the remaining width, and then flex 2, and that's the one that says 2/3 of the remaining width. Now, if I run it right now, okay, nothing is really showing us anything here because I haven't added that flex property to the parent container yet. But if I go ahead and shrink the width, you can see that these two, the two bottom divs, are actually shrinking. But as I go beyond this top div here, the one that says 500 pixels when there is room, okay, that one's actually not shrinking. And this one here is